Yeah. Play it loud. Yeah. I will not allow anybody else to try and break me down. Nah. Time to make a point, let them know that I'm the greatest around. Y'all about to watch an insurrection. It's my time to make a statement. I'm about to interject it. I don't care about your perception. I'm likely to just reject it. I hope you're ready, cause it's the resurrection of perfection. Yeah. I will not allow anybody else to try and break me down. Break me down, break me down, break me down. Time to make a point, let them know that I'm the greatest around. Y'all about to watch an insurrection. It's my time to make a statement. I'm about to interject it. I don't care about your perception. I'm likely to just reject it. I hope you're ready, cause it's the resurrection of perfection. Not allow anybody else to try and break me down. Nah, time to make a point, let them know that I'm the greatest around. Y'all about to watch an insurrection. It's my time to make a statement. I'm about to interject it. I don't care about your perception. I'm likely to just reject it. I hope you're ready, cause it's the resurrection of perfection. Yeah. I will not allow anybody else to try and break me down. Y'all can't break me down. Nah, break me down. Time to make a point, let them know that I'm the greatest around. Y'all about to watch an insurrection. It's my time to make a statement. I'm about to interject it. I don't care about your perception. I'm likely to just reject it. I hope you're ready, cause it's the resurrection of perfection. Not allow anybody else to try and break me down. Break me down, nah, break me down, nah. Time to make a point, let them know that I'm the greatest around. Y'all about to watch an insurrection. It's my time to make a statement. I'm about to interject it. I don't care about your perception. I'm likely to just reject it. I hope you're ready, cause it's the resurrection of perfection. Yeah. I will not allow anybody else to try and break me down. Break me down, break me down, break me down. Time to make a point, let them know that I'm the greatest around. Y'all about to watch an insurrection. It's my time to make a statement. I'm about to interject it. I don't care about your perception. I'm likely to just reject it. I hope you're ready, cause it's the resurrection of perfection. Yeah. J. Will. Yeah. Wrestle, flow, 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 yeah.
What's going on, fellas and lady, if you're out there?
Dominique's not in there yet. She's not in yet.
Dominique, get your ass in there.
That's right, Gabe, tag Dominique.
All right, UWO podcast. We got a special guest. No, that's not Eddie.
No.
Eddie's not going to be here today, fellas, unfortunately. So the Angry fan is out. But I'm Kyle Chapman. That's Brian Lopes.
What's happening?
And we got Wildman Kongo, the Green Bay Packer fan, in the building. And first damn time we got a wrestling guest there. So why don't you let them know a little bit about yourself for the people that don't know you.
Well, I go by Kongo. Been wrestling about 12 years, almost 13 now. All up and down New England. Some parts of Canada, West Coast, Midwest. So I've pretty much traveled the whole United States in the last 12 years, off and on. And just getting back into the swing of things after pretty much taking a year off.
Cool.
How do you feel about the Iconics?
Female tag team?
Yes.
I was happy they won at WrestleMania. I was there to see it live.
So we have a third. See, Eddie, where you at?
Listen, and it was everyone was expecting Sasha and Bayley to keep the titles that night.
Yeah.
And I was with my best friend Nick, and we're like, what if the Iconics win? That'd be different. I think it'd be even cooler because the pop they got.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how it sounded on TV or whatever because we were there.
It was actually loud.
We both were like, all right, they got a bigger pop than we were expecting. So when they won, we were like, good for them, cool. It was different.
Because we get hell because we joke around and we're like big guy, like we're like the iconic fans. Like we joke around with Eddie. We troll the shit out of Eddie with that.
They're not bad. It's just after they won, they did nothing.
I found it funny because I used to watch Billie Kay when she used to wrestle in Shimmer, and I had no idea it was her. And she was actually a pretty good wrestler. So to see her and the character she is now is a totally different thing. So
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, we got some questions we're gonna get into. We got some written questions.
My shit's off the top of the dome. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm kidding. It's right here.
Motherfucker, stop. All right, let's start with wrestlers that inspired you to get into the business.
Well, I didn't want to always be in the business, but I always loved wrestling. So the first wrestler I gravitated to, as young as I can remember, is obviously for me Hulk Hogan, the very first.
Fucking racist.
Hey, whatever.
We're talking back then.
Yeah.
Free racist.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were racist back then too.
I'm sure. Whatever. But it was Hogan, and then that's what made me want to watch wrestling. And then what made me want to be a wrestler wasn't a match or anything. Was that moment with Hogan standing in front of Ultimate Warrior before they went at it for WrestleMania. You know, I think it was 8, right?
Six.
Seven, right.
Well, 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
So when them standing there, whatever, half a minute, and the people losing their mind, that's when I was like, okay, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And before that, I just liked Hulk Hogan. I thought it was cool, bad guy versus good. So I'm not a big superhero comic book guy, but that was my thing, the wrestling, good versus. So seeing that and the way I felt like this is something I would like to pursue when I get older, or whatever I was thinking at that time.
I was more of an Ultimate Warrior dude as a kid.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior sucked.
I was torn in between. I was like, I like Hogan at the time.
When Hogan lost.
Honestly, I did too.
Yeah, my boy did too. I thought he was the only one. I was loving it. I was like, Warrior got the belt, bitches.
I mean, I like Warrior, but to me, I was always like, obviously, he was everywhere.
Yeah, the worst finisher though.
It was the leg drop.
Ultimate Warrior.
Oh.
You can go through the 80s.
He had the worst finisher.
Think about it. The 80s.
The leg drop.
That leg was heavy, bro.
It wasn't a heart punch. It was not a heart punch.
It was a leg drop.
It was a splash.
Yeah, that was garbage too, man. Well, at least he did the gorilla press before he did the splash.
Yeah.
And we all know how that worked out for some people. That's Rick Rude. My first question: how did you get a hold of Brutal Bob? Because you were trained by Brutal Bob Evans.
What's going on, Ray?
What's going on, Steve? I see you're in there too. How did you come across the school when you first got up to this area?
All right.
Because you're originally from New York, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to start training when I turned 18 in New York and Brooklyn, but we moved this way. So that delayed the plans for a little while. And I was talking to Ray and a couple of my friends about actually pursuing to want to be a wrestler. And someone at work, we all worked at the same place. We're not going to say the name of the place, but we worked for this bank.
Okay.
And we were working, and someone...
No, was you a citizen when you worked at that bank?
I'm always a citizen. Now, so...
Actually, no, it wasn't citizens. It wasn't citizens. Never mind.
I worked for them too, but it wasn't them.
Oh, okay.
At the time. So someone overheard just a bit of the conversation, and then a few minutes later he came up to my desk. He's like, look, I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I heard you say you want to be trained to be a wrestler. I was like, yeah. It's like, well, I know a man in Pawtucket, exit 26, in the Mill Building.
Yep, I know exactly where that is.
So he goes, his name is Bob. This is his email, and this is the website. So I said, okay. I said, thanks. And then I found out the person that told me used to wrestle back in the day as well.
Oh,
So that's how he knew Bob.
Oh, okay.
So I did did the research, looked at the website, emailed Bob. I went twice on a training link to check it out. And then he's like, we're taping some matches for our website. this Saturday, come by, meet some of the guys, some of the other guys you haven't met, and we'll talk more there. So I went with my best friend Kev, one of our homies over there, and Kev went with me. We checked out, and he looks at me and goes, "You gonna do this?" And I have like this grin on my face. I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Signed up, dropped the deposit, and 13 years later.
It's awesome.
How's that first night taking bumps though?
The first night it didn't hurt. It was the next morning when I couldn't get out of bed. That stuff hurt.
How about the running of the ropes? Because a lot of people look at running the ropes as like it's so simple.
It's not.
It's really not simple.
It's difficult, and you really have to run the ropes hundreds of times before you get, because each ring, the rings come in 16 by 16, 18, 18, 20, 20. I've even seen 22 ring by 22. So it's supposed to be 3 steps, and as you're about to take your third step, you turn and hit the ropes. And some of those ropes are not actual ropes; they're cable.
Yeah.
With a piece of garden hose and
it's wrapped up.
So so when you first learn to run the ropes, you'll get a bruise here on your hip and your butt, depending on how big you are, how tall, whatever. And those hurt too. But again, it's so weird how you learn about your body, because after a while that doesn't even hurt. The bruises stop coming. Same thing with the bumps. If you learn how to bump properly, you won't feel them until maybe the next day or so, when all your adrenaline is gone.
Everything's gone down.
So,
I'm gonna run some damn ropes.
Have
best
fun.
of luck.
Have fun.
Best of luck.
By the way, John Lundy says take that Green Bay cap off.
No. No.
And Mr. Amoyo is in the building. What's going on, Vic?
Big Victor, and I don't see Carl in the comments.
Carl is watching 90 Days In at this moment.
Oh, no, he's watching
He's watching his 90 Days In right now. I'm sorry, I gotta throw you under the bus, Carl.
Yeah,
It's 90 Days In.
Cowboys
Huh?
suck.
Or 90 Day Fiance. It's one of those things. It's a Lifetime show.
I thought he was watching the Cowboys game.
Lie to me, motherfucker.
I don't
say
know.
that he's watching the Cowboys game. It's like, don't tell me like watching the
I think it's better off he's watching 90 Day Fiance than the Cowboys game right now.
Maybe they beat the Eagles.
Remember the Jets?
Oh, no. How the fuck you lose to the Jets?
It's the Cowboys.
Well, speaking of Carl, while Kyle's getting his next question ready, for those of you who listen to the UWO podcast, and shout out to Carl Bird, me and him actually did a watch along. The audio is up now of an episode of Raw we went to here in Providence. Mr. Bird was actually training at Brutal Bob around the same time you were, and I heard that you have a very interesting story of Mr. Carl Bird.
Why don't you share it with the people?
Yes, please share it with the people, because this is going to be fun.
Let the people know.
Oh, man. So,
I smell something. My bad.
Love you, Carl.
for a lot of people that know Carl, know that he wrestled for a little while. And I don't know if he told everyone, but he had a nickname while wrestling.
That I don't know.
Yeah, during one night during training,
He never tell nobody.
Carl showed up.
Eddie can't make it, right?
Yeah, Eddie's, unfortunately, he's working today, so.
All right. Well, Carl showed up to training one night, and he stunk. And I don't mean in the ring like.
Speaking of Carl,
There he is.
So I don't mean he stunk like he couldn't do the drills. No, he just smelled so bad that day that he ended up getting the name Stinky Carl as his nickname from all the guys.
Perspiration C.
Mr. Bird.
So this has been. When's what, 2019?
Yeah.
I want to say late 2010 is when, around 9-10 is when Bob closed the school down.
Okay.
So for that long, he's been Stinky Carl.
Y'all ain't never let him forget that.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We called him breakdancing Carl because we found out he used to breakdance.
Nah, he can break this.
Yeah, but we didn't find that out till like months after he started training. We're like, we could have implemented this in some of your stuff. Like,
Could have been
and he
a gimmick.
started doing it towards the end, but Stinky Carl is his name for life. So yeah, what's up, Stinky Carl?
He's like, I gotta defend myself, so. Carl, you do have a chance whenever you want to come in and rebuttal.
You
It's all
cannot
on you.
defend yourself. You smell bad. Like, bad that day.
It was a one-day thing, Carl. We all had it.
You got kicked out of the ring, remember? Because you smelled that bad.
Oh.
Damn! Burials haven't started yet.
So,
How'd you decide on the name Wildman Kongo?
it wasn't me. It was a group effort. we were training one night, and they finally said we want to put you on shows. And for months, I was getting ribbed that I'm going to be there while Samoan, whatever. And I was like, I don't want to do that. My goal when I first started to wrestle was just have a match or two, and that was it. I didn't want to be, a full-time wrestler. I just wanted to learn how to wrestle and maybe have 2 or 3 matches and
go on, do your thing.
Right, that was it. But for whatever reason, Bob said I picked it up like a natural. And so he said I'm like 6 months in at this point, just training 3-4 times a week. He's like, we want to put you in the show, but we kind of want to.
Damn, you got to do that 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to, yeah, but the school is open that many days a week. It's up to you. You didn't have to be there 3 or 4 times a week, but I was like, I'm paying to learn how to do this stuff, and I'm going to get as much time in the ring as possible. So whenever this first match happens, I am prepared as possible, prepared to have this match. So I would go 6:30 at night to midnight, 1 a.m., depending on who was there, how many people stayed out. The class was usually about 3 hours, so 6 to almost 10.
All right.
And then if the trainers wanted to stay later, they'd be like, it's open ring, whatever you want to learn, do, you want to work on some stuff, this is the time. Some guys would take advantage, me, my friend Nick, or other guys would be like, no, we're going home, I'm tired, cool. So I think me just staying there all those hours kind of helped develop me a little bit faster than I thought I was going to be. They thought, excuse me, Bob will say it, he thought I was just going to be train for a couple months and then just disappear.
Yeah.
He said that, he goes, and you proved me wrong. So I remember the day he told me, he goes, I want to tell you a secret. I was like, what's up? He goes, I never thought you were going to last.
Wow.
He goes, there's nothing that you couldn't do this stuff. I did all the drills. I learned how to take hip tosses, give them arm drags, all that. I know how to do it, take it. He was just like, you were a big guy. I was almost like 4 and change at the time. So
what you right now?
I'm like 320 right now.
Okay.
So he's like, you never complained or anything. I didn't think you would last. So that was kind of, he's like, I have to admit, I was like, that's cool. I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. Looks can be deceiving, and I get that all the time.
Yeah.
I walk in, I go, look at this big guy, and then they see me wrestle, and they're like, this guy can go. Okay, so, but what was just talking about? I'm sorry, I went off track.
How did you got the name, bro?
The name, that's right. So we were training one day, and we were done. And so he goes, we want to put you in the show, but we got to come up with a name. And so I was like, I got nothing right now. And we're thinking, and we're like, maybe since you're Puerto Rican, we'll do like an Aztec, or I was like, And then somebody was like, well, you're going to be like the savage gorilla. Why don't we just call you Kongo, the movie Kongo, the gorillas? I was like, okay, let's just change the C to a K then, to make it a little different.
Yeah.
And so I was just Kongo, and then when I finally debuted, I got gear, painted the face, the crazy hair, then I started to get more into it, and then it started to be like Wildman Kongo. And then that's just how the name came up, and that's the only name I've had. So.
Cool. So. I noticed too. I've gone back and watched some of your earlier stuff, like some of the matches with JT Dunn and stuff like that. And I also watched some of the recent things too, because I remember you were in the Ring of Honor top tournament, the top prospect tournaments. Yeah. And I noticed your style has changed a lot. Like you were talking about the earlier years. To me, in the earlier years, and one thing I will say about you too, for a guy your size, you move great.
Thank you.
Like your timing is so. Like when I talk about timing in the ring, it's about being in the right position to take the bump. Like the crossbody against you and Will Ferrara. Like you're one of those guys similar to Bully Ray. As a bigger guy, you have a smaller guy coming at you. You jump up and absorb it.
I think it looks cooler too. That's why Bob told me how to do it that way.
Yep.
And I think it just looks, like for me, I'm watching. I can't just sit there and watch you jump towards me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah, you're just waiting.
So I have to do something. Yeah. I run at you,
and it makes the effect, especially if a smaller guy coming at you and connecting with you.
So,
but like your style from the earlier years, it kind of reminded me, and I hope you don't take offense to this, of guys like Kamala.
Not at all.
Like Ugandan Giant, for people who don't know. And now I'm looking at you more, and I see more of like a Vader type like aspect, or like an Umaga type aspect, where you have like that more of a vicious side to you now. And it's funny that you bring up the story about being the Aztec and thing, because I'm Cape Verdean, And when I was training and I was getting ready to have my first matchups, they wanted me to do the African Prince. And I'm just like, I kind of don't want to do that. I have something else in mind. But it's like the stereotype of being from another nation, you kind of fit into it right away. And it's something that's like, all right, you can easily go and can work with it. But I
appreciate you, John.
But I do want to jump back.
I'll show Kongo after the show.
I do want to jump back to the Ring of Honor thing. And I heard your interview with Joe Cronin. And for people who don't know, your first matchups with Ring of Honor were at Hammerstein and the Manhattan Center.
Yep.
Like, that's huge.
WrestleMania weekend.
Dude, that is huge.
Yeah.
And for anybody who knows, like, the Ring of Honor story, like, of them running Manhattan Center, to be like the Manhattan Center or Hammerstein is a big deal for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So that how did that come about, of you getting into that, and what was it like knowing that you're about to walk out in front of all these crazy New Yorkers?
I'm getting used to it. Because that, if I do nothing else, I have that.
Yeah.
I wrestled in my home state, New York City.
Yep.
In two of the most historic places of wrestling. Besides MSG, which is the Mecca.
Yep.
Yeah.
But in New York, it's MSG, Hammerstein, Manhattan Center.
And they're like,
wrestling.
and it's literally right around the block from MSG.
And you got the Elks Lodge in Queens for the
Yep.
ECW. So there's something for wrestling. I knew I was wrestling in the Manhattan Center Saturday. That was a guarantee.
Okay.
I went on a trip a couple weeks before that with Ring of Honor, helped out, got a dark match in North Carolina, all that stuff. There was an altercation in the back with a couple wrestlers.
Okay.
I won't say their names because, you know, it was a crazy thing that happened in the back. It was wild. It was just like, oh shit, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave, and you know, and Mike Mondo like, just sit down and sit quiet. I'm like, okay. So I do it. And then because one of the individuals that was a part of the altercation, he was gonna wrestle Friday in the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Oh.
So Bob was gonna come get me. We're gonna head to Manhattan. I'm gonna stay the whole weekend. I got family there, my brothers, so I'm like, I'll just go Friday. Bob's like, oh, I gotta come back. I was like, cool, I got a place to stay. I'll just take the train to Brooklyn. So as Bob's coming to get me, he goes, you ready? Yeah, I'll be outside. He goes, you talk to Kevin Kelly, that is. He was working on it. I go, no. He goes, okay, I'll call you back. I'm like, huh? Okay. No, like a minute later, Kevin calls me. He goes, hey, you coming with Bob today? I'm like, of course. Yeah, man, I'm here to help out. Anything you need. He goes, yeah, you have your gear? I go, yeah, I got my gear. Always got my gear. That's first rule.
Yeah, pro wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, always carry your gear.
Carry your gear and bring it back. And bring your own toilet paper.
Toilet paper,
Bring your own
towel,
toilet paper.
bring everything.
Yes.
Whatever you did, towel, extra. So that's one of the first rules. You bring your gear.
Always have your gear
if you're
with
going
you.
to a show to watch or whatever, and they know you wrestle, just make sure you have you just bring. You never know what's gonna happen.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah. Then he goes, okay, cool. I'm like, all right, am I gonna be in the match? But I was like, I don't know. He just told me to tell you, bring your stuff. I was like, okay. So I get to the Hammerstein. My family, because it's the iPay-per-view, they couldn't get tickets to the first night, which is the Friday.
Yep.
But they knew I was going to wrestle Saturday, so I got like 20 people coming Saturday.
Nice.
So I get to the Hammerstein, Carino, Kevin, and Hunter come. They're like, can we talk to you? I'm like, yeah. He goes, all right, you know what happened a couple of weeks ago, that altercation? He goes, yeah, since that individual did that, he's out. We're going to put you in that match to open up the show. They're like, sold out Hammerstein Ballroom, 8 to 10 minutes, you got this, and walk out the room. And I'm just sitting there like, holy shit. Like, I'm texting my friends, like, dude, I'm about to wrestle in the Hammerstein Ballroom. So like, no way, fucking great. And I'm just like, shit. So, you know, Bob's like, you want to get something? I was like, I don't know if I can keep it down. I was like, I'll get something light. We go, he goes, I wrestled Corey Hollis.
Yep.
That night, and he's like, you ready? I was like, I'm as ready as it's gonna be. It was like I had knots in my stomach, and then when they said go out there, they went away. And we had, I think, a pretty good opening match. Everyone seemed to really like it. There was a couple people from WWE there that were checking out some talent. They asked me some questions. They thought I did well for opening up the show, and we did something similar with the crossbody, but a little different. They're like, you made your bump need something and man your size, and everybody, what you said earlier, was impressed of how well I move for a man my size. And, you know, when AJ Styles seen me wrestle a few times, and I always another thing they tell you in wrestling, when you're in a locker room and there's people that you respect or value their opinion, they may not always get to see your match, but always ask, hey, if you had a chance, I'm about to go out there, can you watch my match or whatever?
Yeah.
So I do that.
Yeah.
And Bob's like, why don't you ask AJ? And I'm like, this is later on, a couple, after when he came back.
This is like Bullet Club era or like pre.
Yeah, pretty much. And he goes, I'll see what I can do, big, and I can't guarantee. I was like, no, I just want to let you know if you can watch it. So I have my match, and maybe like 20 minutes later, and I just hear that, that southern voice, big man, and I'm just like, get up, yeah, Mr. Sergio. I watched it. That's just like in my head. Here it comes, like I'm just about to get ripped apart. He goes, did they want you to leave your feet that many times? I go, yeah. He goes, so the booker? I said, yes. He goes, I got nothing, man. He goes, you move, like you said, move well for a man your size. And I was just like, nothing? He goes, no, I was going to tell you got off your feet too many times, but you did what the booker asked you, so you're fine with me.
And by Hunter, for people who don't know, it's Delirious, correct?
Yeah.
It's Delirious, one of the masked wrestlers in Ring of Honor, wrestles barefoot, crazy.
Awesome wrestler, awesome
He's cool.
mind. He's a good person.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty cool.
All right, so Mr. Chapman, what do you have for him?
That was pretty fucking nice. Pretty fucking interesting, actually. I just like roasting Carl stories. No, but I don't know. You ever been in a match and there was somebody who you really looked up to and you was like, I don't want to fuck this up, type thing?
I don't want to say I don't want to. I've had moments where I'm nervous.
Yeah.
But that's one thing is I never feel like I'm gonna mess up something. But I do get the jitters and I'm nervous. But I've never thought like, oh, I'm gonna mess this up, or I don't want to mess this up. When I wrestled MVP, I was a little nervous, obviously.
He's strong.
Very strong.
Yes, I watched that too. Holy shit.
MVP, I'm tripping with that one, man.
He's very strong. No, but I was really nervous for that. I
thought that was actually a really good match.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you. I was nervous wrestling Tito Santana. It was like a summer ago.
Did not see that one.
I saw there's a clip online of you and Tito.
And he goes, before we go out there, he goes, yeah, if I'm feeling it, I'll bump. I'm like, don't worry about it. We're not doing anything crazy. Takes a bump for me. Everybody's like, he didn't bump all weekend, so you should be proud of yourself. He took a bump for you. I was like, that's cool. I didn't even know that. But nervous, I'm gonna mess up something. I've never been nervous that I'm gonna fuck this up. But you do get nervous, my thing is if I don't feel those jitters before I go out there, then I think it's time for me to not do it anymore. Because then, even if it's a match with one of my best friends, I still have those, I can go pee right now and be like, I'm going to go out there in a minute. While I'm waiting, I feel like I got to pee again. It's just that feeling you get. It's hard to explain. But your stomach's in now, you feel like you got to pee. And when that feeling goes away, I think is when I'll be like, all right, it's time for me to just
call it.
Or I feel like I can't compete in the ring as well as I should be.
Okay. All right, I have a question for you. Right now in pro wrestling, it seems to be like a big boom period is occurring with companies like AEW coming about, the NWA coming out with their power, and they're finally getting their foothold in where they should be.
I didn't know that studio was that small.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool if you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it.
I like it. It brings back that old school
feeling
of like the early '80s.
Yeah.
Especially with Murdoch on there.
Yeah.
But you look at companies like Impact, who are starting to get their feet going again, and after all the BS that they've gone through and stuff, places like MLW and MLW's done a lot in New York City too.
Yes.
Do you see yourself at any point in time looking into one of those companies and saying, all right, I'm gonna push my chips in and see if one of these companies will take that risk on me? And see if you could fit with one of them.
Of course.
So.
I definitely will try. I'm trying now.
Yeah.
I won't say where or whatever. It's just because I don't want to jinx anything. But I've emailed several places. I've sent my stuff out. Some people have gotten back to me. Some haven't yet. So it's not like I don't think I'll fit anywhere well. I just think I know I can bring.
Gotcha.
I feel like I can bring something to any company I work for.
Yeah.
I've been wrestling 12 years. I feel like I can carry pretty much anybody new. I just feel like I can wrestle anyone, any type of style, and I can have good matches for anyone. It's just I gotta get the opportunity to do that and show them.
Really quick, where do you see, if Kongo had his choice, where do you see your character probably flourishing the most in
Right
any of this
now?
company? Yeah, if it was right now, pick of the litter, you think you can go, you had the option of contracts on the table. Where do you think that your character would probably succeed the most, and your character can develop and grow into what you would want
Will
it
I
to be?
still be Kongo when I get signed?
That's a good point as well.
You know,
You can't be Glow. You can't.
why not?
And Stinky Call's already been taken, so you can't use that.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a tough question.
First off,
Again! Get on camera so they can see.
Just so you guys know, Carl
Crashing the show again. I kind of knew this might have happened. What up, man? Here, do you want to see? Do you want to defend yourself?
Okay, hold on. Before you do, Carl from Codex Prime is here.
Like I said, what up? We recorded earlier, so check it out.
Victor from Codex Prime actually has a question for Kongo. He wants to know if, what opponent you feel took you to your absolute limit. Besides Carl in training.
oh, I got a story for that one. I got a few minutes. I'm on my way to work.
You want to work?
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell your story.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. First off, let me defend myself. So that summer,
You wasn't sure.
it was some. Oh yeah, I'll admit, I smell bad. I'll admit it. I worked at an auto parts warehouse at that time.
But he didn't smell like auto parts.
And it was the summertime. There was no ventilation in there, and I didn't have time to like shower before I would go to practice like I usually did. That day, that was a bad day. But hold on, the motherfuckers had some raunchy days too. Sid never washed his gear.
Yeah, but that's gear.
Okay, and you smelled that shit.
Yeah, but that was.
So we had some bad non-perspiring moments in here. So I wasn't the only one.
They had their gear smell, not their body.
Dude, that was bad enough as it was. Trust me, it was.
I don't know.
I'll admit, I was bad that day. I was bad that
Bad
day.
enough that the name is stuck with
Dude,
Dude, after get together, right? I was like, yo, do you know Carl? Because I know you told me the story that you were training. He was like, Stinky Carl?
Yeah. But I expect that from him, though. There are some other stories. Like, there was one time during practice where, I don't know, we was in a match together during practice, and they told him just get into character. This dude whoops my ass, and I laughed the entire time.
Yes.
Just hilarious. I don't remember what it was.
Somebody was character, Carl.
He was in character. I had no character yet. But he was in character. He whooped my ass. I'm just laughing the entire time.
I remember that.
And then there's also pineapples and beans.
Pineapples and beans.
You remember the pineapples and beans. All right. It was every Thursday after practice.
Positive energy when
Yeah.
we would go to the buffet?
Yeah, we would go to the buffet. We call it positive energy. We all, have
We went there so much on Thursdays that they knew to give us the remote so we can put it on TNA.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So this was like around the time when I first started. So they was like, yo, in order to get in with the boys, yo, you got to eat this mixture of pineapples.
That was
and beans.
Dan.
Dan did that. Dan did that. So I'm like, no, you can't be serious. He's like, yep, you had to do it. Everybody, and it was so convincing. I'm talking about canned pineapples and pork and beans.
So he told Carl, I kind of remember this, that we all did it. And you know me, they're like, right, Carl, you did it? I'm like, yeah, I did that shit.
Everybody did it. Everybody went along with it. Kongo, get us, Cena, Nick Westgate, Brian, Mikey B was there.
He did it. So he ate it.
And I talked them down. I talked them down to at least just one bite.
I'm not on microphone, but you also drank White Claw.
Yeah. You did too, and I got the video to prove it.
That's why I did it. Which is worse?
No. Oh.
Don't tell me you shit yourself in the middle of the ring, bro.
No. The pineapple and beans was the pineapple and beans was after training.
All right.
Yeah, not before.
Oh, what be where?
How about you getting a concussion? The concussion story. Come on.
Was I there for that? I don't remember.
You know, after getting a concussion, I don't think you remember too much.
The concussion story was just around the time when I first started to take bumps. Just like the beginning, literally like my second week, and I took a hip toss, and my dumb ass didn't tuck my chin in. So boom, like the bump was like perfect except for the head bar. And you remember that was the original.
The ring did suck. In the winter, it was stiff as a board. Like the swing would not move unless Bob would take a bump in the middle of it to loosen it up. And so it would be super cold in there, and in the summertime it'd be a million degrees in there.
So I want to say, like, I remember starting like March, so it was like still kind of cold, but like,
But not as cold.
yeah.
Cowboys suck. Can I hear that? Cowboys suck.
Audio is live again.
Can you hear me? Panthers suck. Cowboys suck. Cam Newton has very nice scarves.
They'll hear it.
He's actually a Ravens fan for the year.
Shut up.
Listen, y'all was roasting me. I gotta get some. I gotta get
winning record.
That is true.
Yeah. But where was I getting?
Concussion, you smell.
Yeah. But yeah, like I slipped, did it on a hip toss, boom, landed completely far back, just flat back, including the head. No, it was off. I had to take a week off, like.
Probably
Right after
longer, but he took.
No, it was a week.
Did you shower though?
Yes.
I hope I wasn't there for the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you came to defend yourself that you.
So yeah, that was that. And to say what's up, I can't remember the last time I saw you.
Wasn't it at a show?
Possibly, I don't know.
It's probably been a minute.
Yeah.
You know.
It's been a grip, but I had to come by, say what's up, defend myself real quick.
You can defend yourself all you want.
I'll probably not. It'll always hold up.
Always be stinky car.
That's fine. You always be big shitty.
That's it. That's fine with that.
It's
I
what
got
it
like a million nicknames, so I got like a million nicknames, you know.
I know, but nah, my time at EPW and Slam Tag was.
Yeah,
was
I don't know if you guys know this, but it's a green screen behind us. It's
No, it's not. That's a big ass poster that says UWO.
Yeah, dude.
My bad.
That was
You're
right.
not seeing this.
Remember last week we were in a tropical area?
Yeah. You're right. I was getting my tan on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got it.
All right,
not
guys.
unusual, but let me get back
You
to.
got that Luke Cage team. Damn, got it in.
Alright, but I'm gonna head out. Gotta go to work.
seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, good seeing you, brother.
Came in.
Word. Thank you again.
Second time crashing. Won't be the last.
You came in, and you know what? You kind of went ahead and he has to jet.
Black man going to work. It's funny.
Yo, Cam, did your feminist stylist come up with that? Or did you...
Wasn't your quarterback and running back penis water gun shopping? All right, can we continue on?
You see the way your quarterback dresses?
Don't burn yourself.
I almost got it.
But all right, fellas.
All right, take care, Bird. See you later.
All right, we're getting back into the wrestling.
What was that question you had? Something about.
What's up with Victor, right?
It was the opponent that took you to your absolute limit. By the way, shouts out to Cobb, fucking asshole.
Well, I mean, I've had matches where it's been like we've like left it all in the ring. A guy in Canada, Marco Estrada, was one MVP because I was nervous as heck wrestling him, but we had found Aldo Rose. He personally called me and was like, I haven't had a Royal Wrestling match in about 2 to 3 years. I hope you're ready to fucking go. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready, whatever. So we get to the building. I meet him personally for the first time. He's like, shakes my hand, pulls me in, he goes, ready to fucking go? I was like, let's do this. And so we ended up I thought we had one hell of a match for two guys that just met.
All right, That's funny you brought that MVP match, because I actually wanted to ask you something about that. When you did wrestle him,
Yes.
all right, was there like, I don't know how to explain it, was there like, before the match, he was like going over with you just to get out the jitters? Because,
What do you mean?
like, as far as this is a spot we need to work on, this is something I want to do.
No, he just said, take our time with the last match and just be safe and have fun. That's normally what we all say to each other. And then when I was out there was a few things, like I changed up a few things because what I saw from the crowd or whatever, and in the back he goes, that was great. That was smart thinking on your feet. He was like, good job. I was like, oh, sweet. I told him while we were in there, hey, I'm going to do this because the kids are all right there and they look cool. And he was like, yeah, I'm all for it. So.
Nice. I have a question from my girlfriend, who is like part of the group and handles a lot of like the promotional stuff for us. One of the questions she asked was, what are some things that you see in the wrestling business that right now that you think needs some type of a change? Like, is it like the booking? Is it like the betterment for the guys?
I just think people need to be more honest with promoters, wrestlers, with each other. We now all of us do this full time. That's the goal for all of us to do it full time. But if we agree on a certain thing, whether it's money, this or whatever it is, just be man or woman of your word.
Yeah.
To me, your word is way more important to me as a person than you giving me a match with such and such. If you can't keep your word on something, then I'm not going to trust you as a person. I'm not going to value your friendship or your opinion as much. Because again, we're going out there, we're wrestling. Some of us, again, we have full-time jobs outside of this. We have friends and family, and we get hurt because a ring is not properly put together. The ropes are not put the way they're
many stories that happen with that?
Oh, yeah, many. I wrestled one time, the ropes broke on me in the middle of the ring. I'm going through the middle rope. I take a double tackle. The rope snap, I fly out of the ring and almost break my ankle in the bottom. That's when I started to wear boots not too long after that. Because I wrestled barefoot.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, it's time for boots.
Yeah.
Not that it would have made it, but it probably would have, like, the bruise wouldn't have been as bad or whatever. But stuff like that, the ring, not being a crappy ring and not a real good, well-put ring. Just putting you in ring with people that are not fully trained and stuff like that. So I think wrestling is great right now. So many places to wrestle. There's money to be made everywhere. Man, woman, little person. And so there's money to be made everywhere.
And the independent scene is real hot right now. Real hot.
It's thriving more than ever.
People that hate WWE for just avenues.
People hate it because there was nothing else on. So, people that hate it, like, oh, it's garbage. It's like, no, that's your opinion. It's not garbage. There's certain things
He's not here to defend himself.
There's a lot of things I don't like about wrestling. When I do shows and I watch it, it's not everything I love 100% of everything. You can't. Yeah. There's no way you love 100% of every episode of your favorite show.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's same with wrestling.
Well, I liked every Power episode. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I ain't seen the new one yet.
But, people are like, AEW is so much better. It's different because it's fresh, it's new. So, everybody's going to gravitate to it more. But it's all good wrestling. Yeah. That's all that matters. And there's more places for guys like me, women, to wrestle, get opportunities to be seen, and possibly be full-time wrestlers.
Got any interest, not even weird, but interest in road stories? Because I know you was going up and down the East Coast for a while.
Say that one more time.
Any interest in road stories?
I have a lot of road stories. What do you
want? One that stands out. I got a few going to South Carolina, so I know you got
we almost hit a deer one time. Like, he just jumped over the hood of the car and, the back of his legs clipped the car. I was crazy because it just came out of nowhere. The time we got a flat, and it took, so long to get we rent cars usually, so we don't put the miles on our cars.
Lauren, I'll get to that one after.
But we rented the car, we caught a flat. We had to go to, 3 different locations to finally get another rental, and then the rental we got was smaller than what we had. So there was 3 6'3" guys in the car. over 200 pounds, and me. It was a tight squeeze.
It smelled like Carl in there.
No. It never did. It never did. So, but yeah.
Lori's question?
Yes, she said, who is your dream match and why?
Dream match?
Yes.
Anybody you can work with that you haven't?
I would love to work with Shawn Michaels. That's one of my all-time favorite performers to watch.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles, and I would like to wrestle Michael Elgin.
Nice. I was a huge fan of Big Mike in
Yeah.
his early Ring of Honor run. Love the guy. Guys, honestly, his Impact run right now has been pretty good too.
I've now watched a lot of it, I will say. Again, when I work crazy hours,
Yeah.
so, and then I'm gonna watch it, and then I just knock out or something.
As a matter of fact, for those of you who don't know, Bound for Glory is actually going on right now, and he's actually facing Marufuji. For people who like Pro Wrestling Noah from back in the day in the early years of Ring of Honor, Marufuji is like one of the top Japanese stars that most Americans don't know about. The guy is great. There's a lot of great Japanese wrestlers that came from like Noah and like DDT and stuff like that most Americans don't know. Marufuji is just one of those. Kind of reminds me of a Tajiri. So if you know Tajiri style, it's kind of very similar to that.
Super kicks, a lot of crazy
Kind of, yeah. More of like
martial arts stuff.
not really like the martial arts stuff, but he's like that strong Japanese grappling style. Like he's like a hybrid, pretty much.
All right.
So,
Speaking of Japanese, could you see yourself doing a couple of years in New Japan?
I would love to. I see myself anywhere.
Alright.
To be honest, I can see myself wrestling for any company, anywhere, and it's not because I want to sound cocky or anything. I know what I can do.
Yeah.
And I feel
If
like
you haven't watched any of his guys' matches on YouTube, look them up.
like I feel like I can. I'll be good in any company. I'll bring something.
nice. All right, Mr. Chapman. Would you like to introduce him to one of our weekly segments?
Oh, yeah.
Let's have some fun.
We kind of prepped him. We prepped him, damn it.
Yeah, so this is going to be fun.
We podcasting, we were known for a couple of things. We're known for talking wrestling all the damn time. That you can see from the Carl made meme that this about time that we go ahead and bury somebody. Burials of the week doesn't mean that your career is over or anything like that. It just means at this particular moment, we feel you should be doing better.
Yes.
And we got a guest in the building. So why don't we go ahead and let you get your first burial of the week out first, son?
I don't have one.
Motherfucker!
I don't have one. Like I really. Who am I gonna bury right
It doesn't
now?
have to be wrestling related.
Carl, you smell. I don't really have. I don't have nothing. I don't have no one or anything to bury. That's.
How about Mr. Ray, who said you never beat him at Madden? Oh,
I've been really mad many a time.
Ray Gomes, he says he's beating you many a times.
He said he wants to smoke.
Yeah.
He wants smoke?
I haven't played in years. I do not know none of that smoke. I don't even know how to juke and I don't know none of that. I haven't played Madden in so long. But I don't.
He said lies.
Okay. All right. He knows. But yeah, no, I don't have. You know. Let me see.
Can I get mine up?
Yeah, go
Would
ahead.
you like to do yours? Go
I
right
would
ahead.
like my.
You can't bury Mike Kanellis again.
No, I'm not going to do Mike Kanellis. Mike Kanellis is in the Hall of Fame.
Why are you burying Mike?
Have you not watched him lately?
Kanellis?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Have you not seen what the WWE is doing to this guy lately?
That's not him. You can't bury. That's not his fault.
We're doing it in like kayfabe, having fun in like a joking way.
I know Mike personally.
I know, but it's a kayfabe. It's not that man.
So, I mean, it sucks the situation he's in, but
Is he actually trying to get out? Is that true, or
you saw what you saw.
Yeah.
you have no comment on
I
that?
have no comment. He asked for his
Sorry, guys, no exclusives on that one.
That's all I know. He asked for his release.
Thought we were going to get at. Is he asked for his release?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
sir.
said he tweeted about it.
He
Yeah.
publicly said it. So
He said I asked for
Last
his
time
release.
he
That
signed-
he hasn't gotten it.
But he signed his contract last night.
Absolutely. He signed it this past June.
pen to
So-
paper, man. That's the biggest.
But did you not read with the tweet? He's like, he thought he was doing what was best for him and his family. You can't blame a man for doing what he thinks is best for him and his family.
Honestly, I
I
don't
said
blame
it's
him.
the
What
K-Fab character, not the man himself.
That's what he said it in the tweet.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
So I'm just saying, it's not like he kayfabe that he brought it up.
Okay, how about Mr. Drew Gulak? Is he saying?
Oh no! What?
Is he
No!
saying?
I like Drew.
First off,
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. I like Drew.
look.
And he's a hell of a wrestler.
Oh yeah, he is.
Before you do this, before you bury Drew Gulak, I just gotta say, He brought back the PowerPoint presentation, man.
And they fed him to Braun Strowman.
When was that?
Friday.
I was at work. So I didn't see it.
Yeah. He went from being the cruiserweight champ to bodied.
They're trying to build Strowman for this guy. What's his name?
Theory, yeah.
Yeah. You expecting anything major from that?
I'm not expecting anything from anything. So I'm not gonna be able to watch it when it happens live because I'll be at work, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably not gonna watch the replay because it's the last Crown Jewel show was not that good.
It sucked. You can say it.
You can say it.
It sucked.
If I'm not gonna watch it live while it's happening, usually don't tend to watch it. But if there is a match or something, like my friends will be like, dude, that match is crazy, I think you should. Then I'll go watch that match, but I won't watch the whole pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that, what was it, Reigns?
Yeah, he's too nice to bury anybody. What the hell?
Who said that?
Hey, Laurie G.
Hey, I don't have no reason to bury anybody right now, so.
How about the Chicago Bears?
They suck. They're trash. Just like the Cowboys.
All right, there.
No, but.
Look in your soul.
Take it from the plums, as they
No,
say.
it's just like, it is like if I don't want to watch it live, I probably won't watch the whole pay-per-view.
Okay.
I'll watch the matches I'm probably interested in watching.
Okay.
You know?
You ever did like a barbed wire match?
No, and I don't plan on it.
Okay.
No.
I'm watching those things like there's no way you can like it's naked into you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm good.
So CZW comes calling, you're just...
Deathmatch wrestling is not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
People love it. I don't. So I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
It's not my cup of tea.
She said bury the bagel guy.
But I
I don't know who that is.
Oh, man.
I got a
Like,
non-wrestling.
there's a lot of guys that do deathmatch wrestling that are really good wrestlers.
Yeah.
But they just like that type of
prefer it.
wrestling. So, that's what people like. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Gage. I actually saw him at Beyond Wrestling a couple weeks ago.
Very entertaining. Yeah,
Really
it's
nice guy.
Like a real badass.
Yeah.
Like legit, you do not want to mess with him. But I can't sit there and watch a whole show of deathmatch wrestling. You get what I'm saying?
My girlfriend loves that. She loves death matches.
I can't. It's just something about him. Just like, I feel like somebody may die.
Yeah.
And I just can't watch that. So.
I do have a non-related burial.
Oh, go ahead, because I have 2 wrestling burials that I'm going to get
two
on my
wrestling
chest.
burials. Can I just get this non-related one?
After you, sir.
I seen men on Facebook, all right, say, can you send me the video? Do you know what the video is?
No, sir.
It's dudes in a barbershop chair boning each other, all right?
What?
Why the fuck do grown-ass men want to watch that video?
This just took a
If
very
you
left turn.
Can you please send me that video on somebody's Facebook page? It's of a naked barbershop where guys go to get, let's just say, favors from other men.
Huh?
That just threw this whole podcast.
What? You asked for that video, you buried. There you go. That's
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not on social media like that.
Hey, Cowboys fans asked for it.
All right, so I guess I got to have the burial for this week, and I'm going to try to make this fun, and I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be fair with this burial. What is it? Bury Kyle. All right. So,
Cage.
Oh, that's you. Oh, come on!
all right. So my first burial for the week, Monday Night Raw. Man, first off, this draft was BS. And
It wasn't BS.
I didn't watch it. I was at work.
I'm sorry. We've discussed this for months now on this podcast, that I kept saying, okay, once the draft starts, you separate the rosters, you keep SmackDown on SmackDown, you keep Raw on Raw. Why is it that after the draft, you have a SmackDown superstar fighting for the Raw Heavyweight Championship? That annoys the shit out of me. What was the purpose of the draft?
Does the draft, once they get drafted, does it immediately start?
It immediately, as of last Friday, it officially started. But in 2 weeks,
Right,
you have a SmackDown star fighting a Raw star for the Raw Championship. I hate that. My biggest thing with pro wrestling, Bray Wyatt. They're continuing the storyline with him and Seth.
Sure, he did go to.
They drafted him over to SmackDown.
Yeah.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to WWE
But the match
storyline
was already
wise.
set before the draft.
It wasn't set before the draft. The match got set on Monday because if you remember, Seth was actually the captain of Team Brother.
Yeah, but that's for the...
The Saudi show.
Yeah.
And this is happening now at the Saudi show.
Yeah.
So they pulled him from the Hogan match, and now he's fighting. He's defending his title against Bray Wyatt, who is a SmackDown star. If that's if that is what you want to do, why draft Bray to SmackDown, or why have the match in general for a title?
Let's remember, certain wrestlers number one, aren't allowed in Saudi Arabia. Number
that is
two,
true.
They pull out of the Saudi Arabia show. So
a lot of people.
So this could be just to get a match of that caliber on the card.
Totally understandable, but like I say, it's a little pet peeve of mine. It's like, then why do the draft? And then the other thing that annoyed the hell out of me on Raw was when they're promoting Tyson Fury. First line that was said by Jerry the King Lawler: no heavyweight or no boxing world champion has ever fought a WWE superstar.
Did he say heavyweight or just world boxing?
No, first he said world boxing champion.
Mr. T.
But listen.
Mr. T was a boxer, bro.
But they said no boxing world champion has ever faced off against a WWE superstar.
I want proof Mr. T was an actual boxer.
He was a boxer.
I don't remember this.
He was a boxer.
I remember him playing a boxer. I don't remember him being an actual licensed.
Hang on, let me. There's always Google.
And while he does that, I have the counter to that, Jerry the King Lawler. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Well,
undefeated boxer.
Maybe he was trying to say heavyweight, and I think he messed up.
And this is the second part, because as Braun's coming to the ring, the new announcer Dio Madden says, "Oh, I think what King meant to say was no heavyweight boxer has ever squared off with a WWE superstar." And then I countered to that by saying, do we not remember Mike Tyson was involved in WWE?
But he didn't wrestle.
I know, but then Dio said squared off. That doesn't mean a match. That just means...
okay.
So, WWE, you're overthinking, you're overanalyzing the situation. Now, like I said, I'm going to be fair. My second wrestling barrier is to AEW. If I understand you want to do the whole storyline of, the records matter and all that stuff, but please... eventually, you guys have to follow basic rules of wrestling.
Mr. T wasn't a boxer. He was a bouncer.
He was a bouncer. Close. But AEW, yes, I'm going to be fair. You guys eventually got to start following some type of rules. I get it. You guys are a new promotion. Like Kongo said, you guys are hot. Everyone's in the honeymoon stage. We're all loving it because it's something new. But at the same time, rules gotta matter. If wins and losses are gonna matter, then rules should matter too. I love the fact that during the tag team match on the show,
Butterbean was an undefeated.
Yeah, and he was more. Actually, he was a boxer though.
Yeah,
was he ever a world champion?
Yeah, I don't
know about world champion, but I know he was an actual boxer.
Yeah.
He really knocked out Barbie.
Yeah, he knocked Barker.
That was real.
Yes.
Did you not see his head?
He fell. His head dribbled off the mat. Like,
that was a...
I thought that was just part of the show.
No, that was the shoot.
That was legit boxing match.
That was the shoot.
He signed up and he got knocked.
Have you not watched the story for Brawl for All?
No.
Those were all, mind you, the original winner was supposed to be Dr. Death because it was supposed to be a work, but it turned into a shoot. And then when Dr. Death got knocked out early, it was like, holy shit, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big cluster.
Being knocked out, Barb done for real.
Yeah, he legit fucked him up.
That I didn't know.
But to the
got fucked up.
But to the AEW thing, rules do gotta matter. I do love the fact, like I said, during the tag match, that Pac legitimately went up to Moxley and was like, dude, what are you doing? Use your head. We need the win. I get that. But at the same time, when it comes to tag team matches, I get instead of a 5-second rule, you have a 10-second rule.
That was cool.
That's cool too. I appreciate it. But at the same time, you don't need two guys covering one dude in the middle of the ring for a win. You know what I mean? And if they're going to be outside the ring, I get referee's discretion, but if you're going to work the count, work it in a way where, hey, the ref goes and checks and then comes back in and gives a couple extra seconds before the two. AEW, my only big problem right now, aside from the JR commentary,
I'm not mind JR's commentary.
I don't mind the commentary. I don't mind him as a commentator. I don't think he fits them.
I do like the fact they do the replay.
Yes.
Like the back in the day Nitro.
Yes.
And I will not lie, hearing Tony Schiavone and JR was kind of cool because it brought back those old, like when you were kids switching back and forth.
Oh yeah.
So that was cool to hear them together again.
Oh, I love that.
After how many years? So, but I get what you're saying. To me, JR is a little outdated. with his commentating.
Yeah,
Because his New Japan stuff to me was, I prefer Kevin Kelly and
when Rocky was there with him for a little
Rocky
while.
and the other gentleman.
Callis.
Yes.
Yeah, Don Callis.
I prefer those guys over JR doing that commentating.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing, because at first everybody thought I was nuts. I was like, honestly, a person who I think would fit their commentary booth would have been Joey Styles. Like a Joey Styles Excalibur probably would have worked a little bit better than with JR, but. And I mean, JR's a good guy. I like JR. Actually, when we went to the AEW show in Boston the other week, and I actually seen him and Tony Schiavone getting into the car, said what up to him, blah blah blah. But you know what I mean, like it's growing on me a little bit more. But I just feel like he's more trying to sell himself on selling us of what he's seeing compared to a guy like Excalibur who's calling it. He's in the moment. He's hype.
He's another one that surprised me. I like his commentating.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was at first.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of PWG stuff, so I know him from that time frame or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I know how Excalibur is and like the hype thing. Like some people don't like it. Same way that some people don't like Morrow for some reason. Like to me, it baffles me.
I do not like Morrow.
Some people don't like the whole. He quotes a lot of like Drake lines and stuff like that. Some people don't like that. But again, it's everyone's preference. So.
Yeah.
Who listens to Drake anyway?
You?
But that's my burials for this week.
No.
That's my burials for this episode.
I like Drake.
All right.
Any other burials, Cage?
What happened?
Any other?
I hate you. Yeah, fucking Aaron Rodgers. Motherfucker.
6 touchdowns.
And shout out to Carl Bird who had Aaron Rodgers on the bench today.
This is why you suck, Carl. How you have him on the bench?
Even I would have
6
told you.
touchdowns. 6.
430 fucking yards.
Now I know you're a real Cowboys fan. You hating that we beat you a couple weeks ago. So he benches them for that.
I got some. I'll lose this week. No, he's not going to slam me. That's just not going to happen. I'm not taking bumps. I'm not taking power bombs. I'm not taking F5s on your bed, Ray. It's not going to happen.
Well, pretty much, I think for the most part, our questions for him are good. But let's actually what do you see right now in the current state of pro wrestling? Like, what do you like, or when you have a chance to actually sit down and enjoy it?
Better question.
Yes.
Current state of Monday Night Raw.
I don't watch it. So I don't get to watch a lot of it.
What's the last thing you remember?
I didn't watch the last one because the Packers were playing. So
Yeah.
you know,
I'm sorry.
a win's a win.
I'm sorry, that was not face mask. Here.
I'm gonna go to Clay Matthews roughing the passer last year like 7-8 times. So we were old one.
Touche.
Thank you. So but yeah, I don't get to watch Monday Night Raw like that. So again, I have whether it's good or not. I usually try to watch the recaps and stuff on YouTube or highlights wherever I can, and then. That's how I stay with the storylines or whatever. And then
Yes, Gabe, illegal hands to the face. That's what I meant.
yeah. So I think Seth needs to be healed. That's my own opinion. And I don't know if they'll ever give Bray Wyatt the title again, even him as the Fiend, because such a crazy strong character. Who do you have beat him, and how do you have someone beat him if what Seth Rollins didn't actually beat him?
Yeah.
So that's going to be tough. I would like to see where that goes. I like the fact that the Cruiserweight title is now in NXT.
Yeah.
So I think
I actually like that little and Drew. That's what pisses me off more about Friday Night SmackDown.
I think that'll add more to the Cruiserweights. I'll elevate them more because they've been kind of stagnant since the Classic. Just nothing has really happened except they get an hour on the network but not really nothing else. Like I thought when Murphy won it, they were gonna, because I think Murphy's a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah.
Him and Ali killed it a couple of times.
Dude,
you know what I mean? So
I don't understand why he's so total. He's such a good wrestler.
I think him being under the NXT brand now will help elevate that. But like I said, I don't get to watch Monday Night Raw or SmackDown that much. So because I'm at work, I work nights. So
How about a female wrestler
that I like or I don't
that
like?
you like? Men don't like.
I like Charlotte and Bayley. I think they're really good wrestlers. I just think they get too much of the spotlight. There's so many other girls that can be used or given a chance to. You know what I mean? So I don't have anyone in particular, but I just think they focus on the same girls way too much, and then that's why everybody's just sick of seeing the same stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sick of seeing Sasha and Bailey. You know, they're great wrestlers, but I think they need to add more people as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And aside from Kongo and Fala, greatest tag team of all time.
For me,
Yeah.
greatest tag team of all time? Ooh, that's a tough one.
There's only one answer.
I'll say this. No. Because I die on the hill with my team.
Who you have?
It's either the Road Warriors or the Dudley Boys.
Road is nothing.
Come on!
They were not wrestlers. They were awful, in my opinion.
Wow!
The Dudleys is a good one, but tag team, I'm gonna say Eddie Christian then.
Okay.
See, I die on the hill.
Or the Heart Foundation.
I like that one.
I like that one too. I die on the hill of the Dudley Boys, and I will. This is my main thing with the Dudleys. With me,
Which Dudley Boys?
There's only
the two, Bubba and Devon. Shout out,
what other Dudley boys you talking
shout
about?
out to Spike.
Dick Dudley.
When you hear the name Dudley Boys,
They think Bubba and Devon. But this is the reason why I'm gonna say. I always say I'm going with the Dudleys, right? First off, they wrestled pretty much everywhere from the 90s up until like currently, because Bubba's still working aside from working at Sirius XM. They've worked with everybody. They've worked hardcore style. They worked the WWE team style. They brought a little bit of that extreme to WWE. Yep. They were able to go to Impact and work with guys like the Machine Guns and Bear Money and work a faster pace. They were able to go over to Japan and win the IWGP titles and working in that style too. When people say like LOD or the Road Warriors, I always say but they were one-dimensional. They were straight like I'm going to fuck you up and then that's it. Yeah. Like if you get anything in on us, it's cool, but we're going to run through your ass. Yeah. So that's always been my hill to die. And plus the amount of championships every company they've been on, they succeeded. That's always been my thing when it comes to like a tag team wrestler.
As a kid, I was a big Killer Bee fan too, man.
They were fun to watch.
I was waiting for you to bring out the ding dongs.
Nah,
Mega Powers.
Yeah, Mega Powers.
Mega Powers.
Really, bro?
Power and Glory. Power and Glory. I was a Power and Glory guy too.
Oh, Killer Power.
No, the slow hand.
Power and Glory.
Speaking of which, before we started recording, we quickly discussed NWA Power, and
yes.
you tuned in for a little bit of it, right?
Oh, I watched both episodes.
So what do you think of it?
I like it because it brings me back to when I watched wrestling a little bit. I was born in the '80s, so I got to see some of that NWA stuff, all the Saturday nights on TBS. Yeah. It has that feel to it with newer guys, this generation with some of the old school wrestling, some of the new hybrid type of wrestling. So I think it's cool. I think it's another good place to work, and I like it. It's, again, another place to work.
And they just sold out too. Their first pay-per-view that they're going to be doing in December, they sold it out.
Yes, they did.
Every time somebody brings up Saturday night TBS, man, I think about that ass whooping I got for calling the hotline. I blame Saturday night for TBS.
I knew better than to touch the telephone.
1-900-909-9900. I will never dial that number again.
All that to hear Mean Gene say what?
Kids, get your parents permission. I never did.
And this is why we got your ass.
Oh, man. And what was crazy was, I did it for a couple of months. The first month it didn't appear on the phone book. So I was like, oh, easy. I must be, you know what I mean? We must be good at this. That next month had not only the last month's, but that month's. And back in, like, let's just say the early 90s when my mother's working, and plus, you know what I'm saying, taking care of 3 badass kids by herself.
Yep.
She gets that $420 phone bill. I got $420 of ass whooping.
With interest.
That's what you get.
That was back in the days when, kids can beat the shit out of their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, parents can beat the shit out of their kids. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's get back to wrestling. I just brought up some bad memories, man.
It's traumatizing.
Let's just say any older storyline that you feel that you could have actually thrived more than the character that wasn't portrayed on that story.
Which one?
Like, let's just say, for example, I don't know, just off the top of my head, Like when Hogan double-crossed the fans to join NWO, do you think that you would have been a better fit?
No, I'm not Hogan. I'm not Hogan. Hogan is wrestling.
Any storyline that you feel you would have been a better fit for, Ted?
No.
Not one.
No. Because if you really think about it, if it's not him, you think I would have been the next Hogan?
Not one in particular.
I'm just saying, think about it.
How about this? If you had if you had the pencil, right, as they say, and you could rewrite one storyline or one outcome of something that you've seen growing up that you were a fan of, what would you change?
I wasn't a fan of?
That you could have been a fan of or wasn't a fan of. What's one thing that you would change that you would say?
Ooh, that's tough. Maybe the Taker Roman Reigns, the way it ended, because you thought he was done.
Yeah,
I still don't get that.
I thought he I really thought that was it. That was his last match ever. The way he put the hat.
Yeah.
So I was like, this. I would have just maybe this
Called it a career
different.
right there.
yeah.
I would have maybe ended that differently. That maybe not have him do that, because everybody thought it was.
It was over.
Yeah.
So that was his current call. He left
Yeah, right, exactly.
And it was and to me it was at Mania. Like it's like,
exactly.
okay, this is totally the best time for
Ric Flair's career ended,
Yeah.
Mania, Kurt Angle.
Well, Ric Flair didn't. His career didn't end.
WWE career. I'm sorry.
He went to TNA. He was wild over there.
Jay Lethal, boy.
That was
The Woo Off is still one of my favorite things. I can watch that a million times.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I gotta go pee.
Oh, go right ahead.
We gotta take a commercial break. All right?
Yes,
So people in.
we will be right back. Give us a few minutes, ladies. On here. Okay.
Hey, we're back.
We're back, ladies and
That
gentlemen.
was quick.
Yeah, I had to drop a deuce. Nah.
He was pinching it for a while.
All right, a couple stories you said.
Yeah. So, one time, when you're traveling for wrestling, you try to save as much money as you can. You try to bring food on the road because rest stops can be expensive. And,
Oh, yes.
you know, there's not a Waffle House in every town, which I love Waffle House. Cheap, good food. You get a lot for your money. So we find bargains sometimes. One time we found this. It was three of us. Me, Tim, and Bobby shared a room, whatever. So we're like, all right, one bed. And like me and Bob, like we got the bed, you got the couch, and we realized the couch has a pull-out. So we're like, cool. Tim pulls the couch out, opens up, nothing but Fruit Loops all in there. I was like, look, that for a snack.
Oh my goodness.
Tim, we just started, we laughed for like 20 minutes in just the hotel room. Like, we've been to hotels that we found like, it looked like blood on the wall. So we're like, can we get another room?
Damn.
Can we get another room? They're like,
You know,
what's
somebody
wrong?
killed somebody in this last
It
week.
wasn't in Philly, was it?
It was outside of Philly, Bristol. We were at a Days Inn, it's called. And, you know, it's like $40 a night. When you're on the road, you split that three ways, that's nothing.
Yeah.
You save money how you can, so.
Yeah.
But we have, I've stayed in some crazy motels, hotels. One time we were in Ohio, and Bob found one for like $50, so we took it. Walking down the hallway, I'm like, this smells like bad decisions and disappointment. And we just, I think we laughed for like an hour because he just every time he looked at me, he just started laughing. Like, And again, taking food on the road. You ever have to make a sandwich?
Yes.
You ever have to make a sandwich on your knee while driving? Or while the other person is driving? You gotta, you gotta do what you gotta do to make those shows and events on time.
I would never try this in the car because I used to be a truck driver too, and I used to drive cross country. And the truckers usually cook meals on their engine.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, you can literally cook a full meal on your engine while you're driving for the day.
Just wrap it in aluminum foil.
Yeah, you wrap it in foil. You put it on the block of your engine. You'll tape it down. You start your day off as you're driving. You drive for 11 hours. By the time you pull over, you got a fully cooked steak or pork chops or whatever.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a trucker's cookbook.
They sell like the car cloths that you can put into the lighter thing.
Like the APU units, yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. And again, or you just make sandwiches.
Guys are eating prison food on the road, man.
No, dude. My first trip out, right? When I was my first trainer's from New York. He's from Schenectady, I believe, and he was teaching me. He was like, "Dude," he goes, "Today we're gonna dine out, but tomorrow we're gonna drive and cook." I'm like, "What do you mean drive and cook?" He goes, "Don't worry, I'll show you." We pulled over to a truck stop. We ate for the night. We went over to like a I forgot what the name of the supermarket is out there. And he grabbed like 2 big ass ribeyes, and he seasoned them up, and then he wrapped them up. And I did my inspection for the day. He goes, "All right." He goes, "What's what I want you to do? Take this, tape it on the hood, or tape it on the block of the engine." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, he wrapped it up like 4 or 5 times, put some duct tape on it, put it on the hood. We started driving. 3 hours, we have to stop and check the truck or whatever. So I pop open the hood, and he's checking I'm checking the engine, he's checking the food. And I'm like, holy shit, that smells good. He goes, yeah. He goes, wait till we pull over for the night. Pulled over for the night, grabbed plates, grabbed cups, boop, boop. We had a full ass dinner, like with straight ribs. It's
knee sandwiches. When the guy's driving, I'm like, what do you want? I got bread here. I'm spreading mustard, putting on cold cuts.
Knee sandwiches, bro?
Yeah, you make them on your knees. So yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do when you're on the road. Like you can't just buy. You spend how much at a restaurant average if you're by yourself?
Yeah.
So let's say $20 almost.
Yeah.
So you're on the road for 4 days.
$20.
And if you eat more than one time a day, because you do,
yeah,
you're gonna spend some money. So we bring meals. It's not for everyone. Traveling, driving, and it's not for everyone. It's that some people gone on trips with us and never again.
You ever want to kill a promoter?
One time.
All right.
One time.
Story.
I won't say the name. Me, Bob. No, it's just me and Bob this time, and Matt Sells and my friend Action Ortiz. And we're in the South, and we were all promised pay, certain amount, whatever. So show's over. Not a great house, they didn't promote well, whatever. I don't know. I wasn't, I had nothing to do with that. So we're waiting to get paid, and it's getting late. I'm like, Bob, let's go. He goes, well, I got paid. I'm like, all right. So let me go. He's like, can I pay you? I'm like, pay me what? Like less? I mean, I'll take a few dollars less. I'm not. He's like, no, can I pay you in like 2-3 weeks? I said, no. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm not paying you. I was like, I'm not waiting for you to pay me within 2 or 3 weeks. And then my friend Matt vouched for the guy. Matt's like, he's good for it. I was like, Matt, he better thank you because you just saved him from getting yoked up in front of everybody. Then a couple of weeks go by, we still didn't get paid. I hit up Matt, I hit up Action. I'm like, you guys get paid? No. So I put something on Facebook real quick, tagged him, and then I was like, I wasn't threatening him. I'm just like, you don't want to work for this man. We got paid, and that was it. We got paid like a few minutes later after I deleted the post or whatever. But that one time, because the way it was, I was just like, what? No. And I was like, what if Matt wasn't there? I probably would have,
yoked him up.
Yeah.
We were down south.
There are janky promoters out in this world.
So that's in every business.
Yeah.
I'm sure music industry is just being a stand-up comedian, musician. It's everywhere. So.
I have a question. Have you ever worked a comedy style match? Or would you be willing to work a comedy style?
I'm willing to do everything. I've done comedy spots.
Yeah.
in matches, but I've never done a full match with like a full comedy match.
Like say if Cabana wanted to work with you, or like a King Guitar or something like that.
I'm sure we can definitely make that work.
Okay.
They're both really good wrestlers, and they just know how to do what they do well.
Yeah.
So we would just let them do what he does well. I'll do what I do well, and it would work.
Okay.
You know, I would not be opposed to doing that.
All right. I only ask that because, like, people, so especially with fans, too, they're like, oh, why would you degrade? Like, right now, the hot topic is guys like Orange Cassidy and Mark.
Freshly squeezed.
My brother loves that dude.
Which one? Orange Cassidy?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice guy. It's awesome. It's different. It's funny. It works for him. Good. And he does it with everyone. No matter what type of style the other person works, he does his thing and he lets the other person shine as well. If you watch his matches, no one really looks bad. Everyone looks great in the matches. It's not like, oh, well, he did that because it's Orange Cassidy. No, they work and the match makes sense. Orange Cassidy looks great. He's over with the crowd, and the person he works usually ends up being just as over as well. So
the promoters usually tell you just go out there and do your thing, or do they say we want you to do this, you want you to do this?
It all depends. Depending on who the promoter is, what the type of show it is. You know, if it's a person that runs once or twice a month, they may want you to do a certain type.
Yeah.
You know, because they have their guys that work there regularly. So, we want you to do this because he's going to go on to do this for us. And okay. And then you have shows that are once every couple months, so it's just like, go out there and kill it. Go have a match, you and him, and do the best y'all can.
Okay.
So you have those type of shows, and then, you know, sometimes we'll do a charity show, which is always fun, you know, charity, there's always a lot of kids, so simple good versus evil matches. That's what those usually are.
What about I always wondered, I've just seen it with Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar. Do you guys in the back usually clown the people who get squashed?
Not at all. It's part of wrestling.
All right.
I've lost in under 2-3 minutes. I've wrestled people that have lost to me in under 2-3. It's just wrestling, you know.
Okay.
I look at that as if you're getting paid the same amount, whether you're wrestling 20 minutes or 10, and you go out there for 2 and you're over still, you won.
All right. I have another question, like especially because we're in like a lot of like wrestling groups and communities, and we see how some people act towards like certain characters. Like like I brought the Orange Cassidy thing just to see like a gauge with that. But there's certain wrestlers out there that are very infamous for certain things. Like say if you had to work a guy like a Joey Ryan, okay, and we all know the infamous dick flip thing. Yeah, it's a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's so weird that somebody would take that bump or you know be willing to work that match with them." And I would never do that. But it's funny because I hear so many like pros that have been around for decades. Like even Foley. Foley took the dick flip.
Foley used the sock.
Yeah, he used the sock. Yeah, to be correct. Yeah, Foley did use the sock.
Santino.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and
wrestling.
And to me, it's always like I look at it the same way. Like the same way, it's pro wrestling. Like if it's gonna work and it's gonna make everybody like happy and people are gonna go home with a smile on their face, then.
Did you watch the first All In show?
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched it here.
The dicks coming out and
funny story. Funny story. We were taking a photo because he wanted to take a photo, right? As he's taking the photo, looking up at everybody, right? Joey Ryan's starting to come down. I'm like, oh shit, Joey Ryan. He snaps the photo. He's like, holy shit, there's a ton of dicks on the screen. And his jaw dropped, and he's like, all right, this is the part where I gotta leave.
To me, that was funny.
I found it hilarious.
Yeah, and again,
Yes, Mr. Dick Flip.
Yes, we're talking about the dick flip.
it's wrestling now. It's part of wrestling. And if I felt uncomfortable doing something, I just say I feel uncomfortable, and you know, as professionals, we'll work around it.
Yeah.
When I do it, why not? It's wrestling. I don't give a shit. Like it's wrestling. As long as someone is entertained by it and it makes sense, because it'll make sense. As long as it makes sense and is entertaining, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
It's what I do. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go out and, you know, that's who he is. That's his thing. That's great for him. It is entertaining sometimes it's not. So it all depends on how you do it.
Here's another question I always wondered about the insider knowledge. Anyway, I've seen a ton of videos where somebody hops the fence, and it's always common knowledge that wrestlers always say this: if you hop that fence, you're fair game.
Pretty much.
All right. Now, my question is there a thing when you go down to the ring like, all right, I don't want to blow kayfabe, so if this guy jumps the rope, you're going to be whooping his ass?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's because you don't know what they plan on doing. You don't know if they have something in their hand. It's happened once. Somebody tried to jump the fence on me. I just kept shoving them back over until security came. So I was like, no. It's like, no. Just kept pulling them to the ground. So it all depends. Like, I know if someone tried to jump in the ring in my matches, they're not going to leave.
Too happy?
Yeah. Because, again, I don't know if they have something in their hand. I don't know what their intentions are. You know what I mean? So, you see it all the time. You know,
So it just happened with Bret Hart.
Right, or the guy jumping in the ring with Roman Reigns a couple years ago.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
They grabbed him immediately, but sometimes security's not that fast, so you have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
You know, they tell you before the show starts, don't touch the wrestlers, don't throw stuff at them and all that, so...
That kind of leads to a question that Laurie just asked. How do you feel about the fans bantering hard with a wrestler, and is it too much, and do you like it? Like, fans that go a little too hard.
Well, they pay their ticket. They can say what they want. Me as a professional, I will not take that to heart. They can say what they want, how they want. I just don't like when wrestlers disrespect the fans. They go overboard because I'm like, they paid their ticket to do that. You're supposed to entertain.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't disrespect the fan, they shouldn't be going over the top. But some do that, and that's cool for them because I'm not going to take it to heart.
Yeah.
Me personally. You know what I mean? Say what you want. You know, but I don't think you would say that to me if you saw me in a bar.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's cool. Have your fun. You paid your ticket. I'm all for it. Okay. Now, when the wrestlers go too far, I think you got to be professional. Mm-hmm. You got to know what not to say, what to. You know what I mean? You can't tell a little kid go. You know, your mom's a whore or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just a little too much.
Yeah.
The infamous Bully Ray in Dayton.
Yeah, but that's ECW.
That was ECW times.
That's way different from.
Especially right now, it's like more PC.
I love ECW.
Right, but I didn't like ECW.
What?
I grew up in New York, and I remember the first time I saw ECW. I stayed up till like 2 in the morning.
That's when it came on, yeah.
MSG Network in New York.
That's where it came on nationwide.
I don't know what was. So my cousin's like, you gotta stay up. I'm like, bro, it's like 2 in the morning. I want to go to bed. He's like, you like wrestling? You like this? So I'm watching like ECW. Extreme. I'm like, okay, and I'm seeing the video thing before the show starts, and I'm just like, this looks insane. So we watching it, and it's over, and he's like, what do you think? I was like, I don't like it, and he just had this face like, I didn't like it. There was some good wrestlers that came out of ECW, yes, but me watching ECW, I did not enjoy it. Wow. I didn't think it was wrestling. Wow. And back then. You know, now
was you watching the East Coast Champions or were you watching the ECW?
ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Wow.
What I remember is like, I know why that guy's called Rob Van Dam because he looks like John Claude.
Yeah,
Van Damme. So
exactly.
I understood where the name comes. I was like, all right, I can get it. He does karate stuff, whatever. I just didn't like it back then. But now watching it now, I'm like, well, that's cool. That was another place for those guys to work back then to build their character or whatever, their brand. So I don't knock it as saying it's garbage. I just didn't like it. Not my thing.
All right.
Wow. Again, Taz and Robert.
Again, all those guys. There was some good stuff. There was a lot of good stuff on it. But as a whole, for me, I was not going to stay up till 2 in the morning to watch that. I would go to my cousins and hang out and watch the pay-per-views every now and then. But it just wasn't my thing. And there's a lot of guys that I know from that worked in ECW that are great wrestlers, and I'm friends with, and we laugh about it. You know, because again, I was a young kid. It's just something I didn't like. Yeah. The same thing with deathmatch wrestling. I understand it.
Just what you let's see.
I understand that people love that stuff. Is it for me? No. But there's a lot of guys there that can actually wrestle.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't think can wrestle because of what they do.
Yeah.
With the deathmatch wrestling. So that's just a different type of wrestling. It's just not my thing.
Like I find it funny too with like Moxley, like people who didn't know, like that only knew Dean Ambrose, had no idea who he was prior in CCW as John Moxley and him and Sami Callihan running together.
Yep.
Before I did the podcast, I had no clue. When you told me to go ahead and look at some old shit, I was like, good fucking Lord.
Yeah. and you know something, and this is just my perspective, like not knowing Jonathan Good and all that stuff. Like I don't know the guy personally, but like I could tell like there's something about certain wrestlers that just have a passion for what they do, you know. And he always wanted to, you know, bring that little bit of violence to WWE, but it was something that.
A little bit.
Well, you get what, to quote Butters, you know what I am saying.
Oh yeah.
But like he had a passion that he wanted to do something a little bit more and have that like hardcore mentality expressed a little bit more. And in WWE, felt like he was pigeonholed, and that's why when he was leaving, I was like, okay, as a fan, I'm kind of happy for the guy, because you know you can actually get out there and make the money that you could have made in WWE, or make something that's, you know, sufficient enough that you could live. Like you say, most wrestlers' goals are, you know, to not have to work a second job and
just be a full-time wrestler.
Yeah. And to also enjoy what you're doing. So, like, to me, I was always like, okay, that's pretty cool of him to actually want to do that. And I look at some fans, the way they act towards these guys, they're like, oh, they owe us something because they're leaving and all this other stuff. Like, what do you feel like with fans that think that you owe them more than what you give them when you're out performing?
They're selfish.
Okay.
I don't know what people think the ring is made out of. It's not. It takes a tear on you. Everything. The whole process of from waking up to going to the show, wrestling. It's all. You got to get up early. Sometimes you got to drive a few hours to this location, and then you got to check if the ring is okay enough for you to do what you want to do, or see what, you know. Are the guardrails too close? You know, is the ring a good ring? If the person I'm wrestling is trained enough, or, you know what I mean? So, and then you go out there and you have each other's lives in your hands.
Yep.
For however long you're going to wrestle. You literally put your lives in each other's hands. You know, if someone slips off the top rope and you're not there to catch them, they land on their face. Or you both on the top rope, the rope snap, and you know what I mean?
How do you guys feel in the ring if that happens, like a botch, and it gets the other person hurt? Is that like animosity there? Or?
No, it shouldn't be, because we're not going out there to hurt each other, like, per se. The few times I've seen someone in a match get hurt or somebody slips or something, everyone feels sad and down, because I just did a show in January, a gentleman broke his wrist. And we were all like, shit, that sucks. Like, he's got to drive back to, I think he was I forget where, down south or Midwest. So he came up all the way over here. And then him and his friends had to drive back, and, you know, he had a wrap. You know, he went and got a check, got a wrap, but, you know what I mean? Like, you know, what if he had to work and now he can't work because of his wrist? You know, so none of us, you know, we don't feel great when somebody gets hurt. It's like, damn, that sucks. And depending on how bad they get hurt, and, you know, we'll go from there. But we try not to hurt each other at 99, you know what I mean? Sometimes we do hit each other a little harder than normal just because we're in the moment, or, you know, it's that type of match.
Yeah.
So.
And Dominique, with her sexy ass, she wants to. Oh my bad, did I say all loud? She wants to know what's your thoughts on WWE kind of sliding away from the PG era.
I think it's needed. You need some aggression. It's got to be a little bit more real. You know, not everything's going to stay the same. Everything has to change somehow. So I think them going a little edgier, or whatever you want to call it, I think it's fine. You know, those little boys that are watching the PG era are now teenagers and some young adults, so they want to see something different. You know, you're going to have your people that appeal to the kids, like the New Days. Well, used to be Bailey, but, you know, Bailey, the New Day, those type of people appeal to the kids. And
the
always
videos of those kids crying when she sliced up those balloons is fucking hilarious.
I'm sorry.
It's awesome.
It's a reaction.
Yeah, it's what they wanted. But yeah, stuff like that. I think it has to. Everything has to evolve. Same thing with me. My gimmick, whatever you want to call it, my character has evolved from my first day in wrestling to right now. I don't paint my face anymore.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
I don't have long hair anymore. It's more of who I am. I'm from the streets of New York. I'm Puerto Rican, you know, man, and you know, I'm a good person, but you piss me off, I'm gonna be your worst fucking enemy. Like, seriously. So, and my friends can attest to that. You You know, it's more of who I am these last few years. Kongo is who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their name's a little different, but that's basically who I am.
It's like the term that they always say with wrestling. It's like some of the best characters are yourself turned all the way up. And like I even said earlier on, I'm like, I saw the progression of where you were when you first started to like I said, I was looking at like the Kamala style, and now I'm looking more like Vader or like even Samoa Joe, like that violent, like I'm ready at like the concrete jungle. I love that thing.
Can you survive it?
Yeah, can you survive it? Like that's awesome. I think it's something that you could definitely run with.
That was a tag team name.
Really?
Me and Action Ortiz were trying to be a tag team. He's from New York as well, and I was kind of still doing the jungle thing. So we came up with the concrete jungle because he's also from New York. So, he got hurt, so the tag team thing didn't, fall through because he got injured. But, and I wasn't going to use it without his permission, so I got his, like, can I use this? And he's like, absolutely. Nice. So Can You Survive the Concrete Jungle is kind of our thing, but he gave me the blessing to go ahead and use it.
Nice.
So did you do you prefer to be a solo or a tag team wrestler?
I think I thrive more solo, but I've been in the tag team before. Like I said, I tagged with Falaba for like almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I learned a lot because I didn't do much tag team wrestling before that. So I learned a lot from tag team wrestling, and I enjoy tag team wrestling a lot more now since then. Like I can appreciate what they're trying, It's pretty much the same thing. You just have 4 people in there. It's still the same story. You just got to try to find how to get everyone involved. So, like one of my favorite tag team matches I watched was the NXT Revival versus American Alpha is what their names?
Yeah.
That was some of the
Jordan and Gable.
That was some of the best tag team matches I've seen. And then Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
And those guys, they've been tagging for I don't know how many years, but they're always fun to watch.
One of my favorite tag team matches from like the Ring of Honor days, and it's from, I know the exact DVD because it was when Cabana was leaving. It's called Good Times, Great Memories. I always tell people, if you ever get a chance to find this, it was the Murder City Machine Guns before they became Motor City versus the Briscoes in a tag team match. Yeah.
The Briscoes are one of the best tag teams. One of the best people I've ever been around. So I've seen them wrestle live so many times. Tag team singles, they're awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, Tango and Fala, I learned a lot more about tag team wrestling, and I've been in many tag team matches. So I'm not opposed to it, but I think for me, I would do better singles. But who knows? Maybe if you put me with the right person, we can be the next Ray Rowe and Todd Hansen, the Viking Raiders, because they got put together from when we all did the 2014 top.
You fought Eric Rowe, correct?
Yes, first round, and then after that they put those two guys together, and sky's the limit. They're the World Tag Team
How tall is that motherfucker?
Who?
Eric Rowe.
He's not much taller than me. Maybe a few inches. He just carries himself very well.
All right.
But he's a strong individual.
And that was,
tell you that legit one of the strongest people I've ever been in the room with.
I was gonna say, and this was pre-motorcycle accident.
Yes.
Yeah, because for people who don't know, Eric Rowe was in a really bad bike accident to the point where they surprised that he actually survived it.
Yeah.
So, and I remember him coming back with he came back a little bit early to Ring of Honor with the casting on his arm, and man, he's a trooper, man.
Yeah, but again, I'm not opposed to being in the tag team, but I think for me personally, I would rather be singles.
Okay. Aside from yourself, wrestling right now, who's the best?
That's tough.
Come on, give us some names. Give us a name.
Like that I like to watch, or just they're just the best.
The best right now, in your opinion.
Seth is up there. Seth
You hear that, Eddie?
Seth has been having good matches. Roman Reigns.
You hear that one, Eddie?
I don't care what anybody says. I'm trying to think.
Omega?
I'm trying to think.
Wow.
No, he's awesome to watch. He hasn't wrestled much this year. So.
Overrated.
Just won a championship in Mexico.
I don't about word.
He throws Kenny Omega shade all the time.
He's a good wrestler. He's entertaining to watch. He's different. He don't care what anybody thinks, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But them, I think the Revival has been a good tag team to watch this year.
You hear that, Eddie?
Thank you.
I wish he was here for this.
I'm also loving seeing my friend Otis on television with the power belly.
I love Otis.
That's
I'm coming.
such a good guy.
Huh?
Good guy.
Right.
I know him. We met him, a few times.
Anyone else on the WWE roster that you know personally?
I know a lot of people. A lot. So
Too long of a list.
not too long a list, but it's just I know a lot of people. Refs, female wrestlers, tag team wrestlers. Like I said, it just
Is JoJo one of them?
JoJo. You mean Finn's baby mother?
Brace.
No, I don't know I don't know.
All right, I have a question for you. Aside from who's the best, and aside from yourself, who are people that we should be looking out for that are like hot on the indie scene that's starting to get a buzz, that you think in like maybe 5-6 years they could be like the next, like say like the next Young Bucks with the buzz, or the next Pentagon with the buzz, or something like that, like someone that we should look out for.
That's somebody I want to wrestle. Pentagon.
Penta. It's funny because Dominique actually just said thoughts on Lucha Bros.
I want to wrestle Pentagon 1-on-1. That's something I've been saying for the last couple of years.
He wrestles everywhere, as we say.
Yeah.
Everyone.
He is everywhere.
But yeah, like I literally would love to wrestle him.
Okay.
But someone to look out for. I know MJF is signed, but his potential is really can be up there. I think he has to tone down the hokiness.
Yeah.
Because now he's on TV. It's not like he's doing it in front of the 200-300 people in the indie crowd. So he has to find that balance of hokiness and actual, So I think, and he's also a baby face right now. So it's weird because he usually plays a heel.
He's like kind of a tweet. Like, yeah, he's like the guy that we're like, especially because we're in Boston too. Like, we saw the tease and we're just like, we know the moment that moment happens.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, and
it's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, but that can't wait for that to happen. He's someone to look out for. I've met him when he first came in. Good kid, always asking questions.
Rico de la Vega.
That's my tag. That's my manager. That's my PW. That's my homie.
Give him a shout
That's
out.
my primo Rico. He knows. That's familia right there. Let me see. AG Retro. He's booming right now.
Yep.
I think the sky's the limit for him. Yeah. My Jonathan Gresham. I think he's not getting enough shine in Ring of Honor.
As a man, I must say this: fuck Jonathan Gresham every single time, only because he dates Miss Jordan Grace.
Hey?
And my girl is okay with me saying that.
Out of purity,
That's the only reason I hate on him.
You can't hit the player.
Hate the game. Hate the game.
That's all I'm saying.
Nah, but shout out to John. He's actually a very damn good wrestler.
And he's an awesome person. We've had many conversations. I knew him before he got signed.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and he's a hell of a wrestler. Like, seriously, I don't think he gets enough props of what he can do in that ring for Ring of Honor.
He was in the Super J Cup too, I believe.
Oh,
Right?
I think this is the second time he's been in.
Oh wow.
Who's taught you the most after the training? When you actually got into the ring, who's taught you the most about the wrestling?
Bob. That's funny. Bob had a school, but I didn't really train with Bob. Bob would come, train, 6 the thing, and leave. Mm-hmm. This is like when he was still trying to find what his purpose was in wrestling. He's been almost 20 years, I think it is now, in wrestling. So he had a school. He had a couple assistant trainers. The assistant trainers took me and my friend Nick under their wings. And so they taught us the basics, got us in, and we were having good matches. When Bob closed the school down, and then he started doing the stuff for Ring of Honor, the seminars, he asked me to tag along to help him out, to demonstrate. And he's taught me more about wrestling on these road trips. And then he's also helped me because I feel weird when I go help out at the seminars because I feel like I don't know anything. But then he'll tell me, he goes, I'm watching you talk, and it's like, you could do this. And I'm like, it's not what I want to do. Maybe later on in life, maybe I would like to teach, I don't know. But he's helped me with presenting myself in different ways, talking to people, professionalism.
Okay.
There's a lot more to wrestling than just moves and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
He's told me all about it.
So I learned a lot from him. Kevin Kelly, I've spent hours with him talking and just learning. A couple of the teachers around New England, Ryan Drew, Brian Fury. Those guys, they have schools and they teach. They're awesome, and if you ask them to watch their match, they'll find something, or you'll be like, I didn't think of that, or that's a good point, I should have. Yeah, you're right. So you end up. It's Bob's that's taught me the most recently, the last few years. Even though I did start with him, but it's like he was there, but he wasn't. And then when he closed the school down, he was like, all right, you passed high school, let's go. This is college courses now. So it's kind of like he was there in the beginning, he saw me, and then he really helped me advance after the school closed. It's weird, because again, I did start with him, he did help me in the beginning, but I was really more with his assistant trainers at the time.
Okay.
So he's taught me the most, and then individual, having a match with somebody, I would say Aldo Rose has helped me a lot too. Just for conversations. He's the one that told me I didn't need the face paint, and I ended up hating wearing the face paint after a while, because that just sucks.
Is that itch after a while?
It doesn't itch, but if it gets in your eye when you're wrestling, it burns like a motherfucker.
Okay.
If the building's too humid, the paint never really fully dries. And then if you get the paint on someone else's gear, sometimes it doesn't come out. You don't want to ruin someone. Gear can cost up to $1,000 or more.
Yeah, gear's not cheap.
The wrestling gear can cost up to $1,000.
Just that your boots,
boots are a couple $100 a piece.
Yeah.
Singlets, depending on what you get on them, how you get them, what type of material, can go anywhere from $100 and something to $4 or $5.
And speaking of singlets, my girl Miss Dina, who designs the UWO shirts, by the way, and Dominique, thank you for the shout out. She actually is interested in designing a singlet for you.
Is she?
She's like, if I can get the material and talk to them about it, she would like to do a singlet for you.
Okay, I will. If you want, I give you one of my old ones that I don't wear, so you can use that as measurements.
Yep.
And you can go on. You have at it.
Yeah, I'll let her know. She's in the other room.
Hey, Dana!
She's in the other room, so.
I literally have about 19 singlets.
Okay.
Some of them I don't wear, but I got about 15 that I can wear right now.
All right.
But I got about 19 to 20 different singlets, colors, the logo. So it all, shout out to Jenny. She doesn't do much for gear right now because her hand is hurt, but that's my lady. She does all my gear for me. So.
Okay. Have you ever done bleeding?
Have I ever cut myself in a match? No. I've gotten hard way in my arm. I got a scar right here from a bamboo stick. I've had
that sucked.
But my nose busted, lip busted open. I've had a tooth in half from a super kick. I didn't put my hand up, ate the whole boot.
Damn!
Half the tooth right here was gone. I had to pull the other half out.
That sounds like a fun night.
Bruised ribs. I've had that. That was not fun. Try to do anything with bruised ribs. I mean,
bro.
No.
Laugh.
No.
Try to go to the bathroom with bruised ribs. Painful than a motherfucker. But no, I've never, and like myself, no, I don't think I can.
All right.
I'm not saying I don't think I can. I just never been asked to do it, and that's fine. I don't want to. So.
Okay.
You see Triple H's forehead, bro.
Triple H's? No, Devon's.
Devon's is bad. Really, really bad.
Like
Abdullah.
Yeah, man.
Abdullah, another one.
Carlos Colon.
Yeah, they could put quarters in their head and just let it sit there.
I saw one time we saw Spike Dudley just do this and it started bleeding. He just did this with his hands, and they opened up and.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's some matches I think do need maybe a little blood for the story, the telling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like when you do like a Hell in a Cell, something like that, and if it's a good, every once in a while, not every time, you know what I mean?
Like a payoff.
Right.
Like it's a payoff
I
to
can
an
understand, but I also understand why they don't do it as much. Hep C, all that stuff, you know what I mean?
But yeah,
Yeah, so it's I get
all the
why.
infections that are
Right,
going around.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand why it's not done a lot, and I'm fine with either one.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up, B.
Yes.
No more questions?
Got any final thoughts you want to throw out there for us?
Thoughts on what?
Anything, man. Lay it off your chest.
Open
All
forum.
right, I got something. This is more towards for independent wrestlers. If you can support and buy a WWE shirt, poster, whatever, and you go to a local show and a guy's trying to sell his merch or whatever, don't knock him. And you know what I mean? We're all trying to make a buck, and we understand sometimes you don't have the money, but if you're rocking a WWE shirt and you're coming to me like, oh, I can't afford your $20 shirt, I mean, you got a $40 shirt on.
Yeah.
Don't, you know, just be like, oh, I'm not interested. Be like, that's cool. Or just, you know, I'm not looking to buy right now. Don't say you don't got the money when you're rocking the newest.
The new Seth Rollins shirt,
Right,
or the
right,
new
right,
I'm the
right.
man's man.
You have your shirts were on Pro Wrestling too.
Yeah,
Yes.
like, I don't even promote that as much as I should.
Shout out to
I
Ray, he
should.
just put it in the chat. So
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, we're all trying, we don't make a lot of money doing this stuff. I'm telling you. It's the love of it. It's, I don't go home with thousands of dollars on weekends. You know what I mean? If I did, I wouldn't have to work the other job. You know what I mean?
for real.
So it's hard to explain to someone that doesn't have, not that they don't have passions, but when they don't love something as much as a wrestler loves wrestling, or a musician loves their music, or a stand-up comedian loves doing their comedy. That's why I think wrestlers, musicians, and comedians get along so well.
Yes.
Because they understand the struggle, driving 6-7 hours for 8 to 10 minutes in a ring, or 5 to 7 minutes on stage, getting paid next to nothing. But we're working on, we're trying to build, so we know we're gonna have to eat shit to build. You don't become a millionaire overnight.
Yep.
You know, it's if you don't love that part, the grinding, whatever. Because I'm telling you, when I signed up for wrestling, I did not. What is that?
Lori asked if you deliver your shirts, and Ray says for the right price.
That's right. That's right. But if you don't love that part of it, you're gonna be miserable. Because when I signed up for wrestling school, I just wanted to learn how to wrestle and maybe have 2 matches. All this other stuff that's happened from then and now is crazy. I never thought I'd be driving to New Orleans, Michigan. All this, sometimes you do get to fly because the promoters do fly us out, but sometimes you have to drive. And if you can't do those drives, then you really don't want to be a wrestler. Because if you think about it, I know some of us have the network. We watch that show Ride Along.
Yeah.
They don't just fly into every town. They'll fly into one major city, drive 500 miles there, 400 here, 500 there, and then go back to that big city and fly out back home. So you're going to be doing these drives anyway, whether WWE, AEW, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the part that makes people not, like, they think it's all just you wrestle, you buy gear, and that's it. No, there's so much to it that's when they realize this isn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, so realize when a wrestler is trying to sell her 8x10, his 8x10, or a t-shirt and stuff, we're just trying to make an extra buck. And when you buy that shirt and stuff, I tell you, we will work even harder for you to put on a good show. Like, you don't understand. When I've been on, like, shit, I'm only getting paid this amount. You know what? I just sold 5 shirts. I'm good.
Yeah.
I just made an extra $100. Let's go out there and just kill it for these people.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't have to worry about, you know, level. Not that I'm worried about money, but you're on the road. You don't know what could happen. What if your friend loses his wallet? Now,
Car breaks down.
the rental breaks down, or somebody gets hurt.
Yep.
And now I got to take, you know, Nick to the hospital and stay there for a couple hours, and I got to try to drive home. You know what I mean? So, just, you know, there's a lot of people that support independent wrestling, support us. They buy shirts of the Pro Wrestling Tees or whatever. I just don't knock us for doing what we're trying to do. That's all I say.
Definitely.
And Ray just said that your T-shirts are 20% off tonight only. Is that true?
I think it's on the Pro Wrestling Tee site. Yeah, I forgot the promo code. Give me a second.
Cheap plugs coming at you. I fucking love plugs.
I don't know.
We do plugs all the time whenever we get a chance.
Yeah, it's the anniversary, so it's 20% off. I'm trying to see what the promo. Oh, retail is the promo code.
Yeah, go to ProWrestlingTees.com
Wildman Kongo
/ the Wildman Kongo, and to the code retail.
And get 20% off for tonight.
20% off. Yeah, I think I have.
For tonight only, so make sure you do it
I
tonight.
think I have maybe 4 or 5 designs on there.
Nice.
So I have the original Kongo shirt design on there, which is half of me face and half a gorilla face.
Okay.
I have the Concrete Jungle shirt that's on my gear.
Yep.
That
Probably gonna be
logo.
the one I'm buying.
That's the one on there. I have the comic book style one, which I don't even read comic books, but I asked my guy Rich Fonseca, awesome designer of a lot of people's stuff. A lot of Joey Janela shirts have been designed by him.
Okay.
Nice.
My shirts, Bob's shirts. So yeah, he came up. I told him what I wanted. He drew it up, and I was like, "That's awesome." It was like, and then I got the Funko Pop Kongo.
Really?
Yeah, the logo. You know the Funko Pop dolls. Look?
Yes.
That's a shirt.
Oh,
I
shit.
never got what those things are.
I
They're
don't.
just figures.
They're just figures, and people are obsessed with them.
Yeah, I've got my Aaron Rodgers one and my Shawn Michaels. I'm trying to get my Hogan one, but I don't want to pay $40 for one.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to start a collection.
They
You know
have
what's better than the second one you named?
what?
Cam Newton. That would be a great one.
I think
It comes
they
with
have it.
It comes with its own designer purse.
It comes in a trash can and a scarf, so
Yep.
throw it in the trash. You can cover it.
And if you get the deluxe edition, it has every outfit.
Yeah.
You know,
Comes
high
with
heels.
Comes with skinny jeans.
I hate you all.
But no, I have that. I made that logo into refrigerator magnets.
Oh, nice.
So I still have a few of those.
Goon
left
Squad or
around.
Congo Pop? Which one?
Oh, that's the shed. There's another Goon Squad. The Goonies lettering from the movie Goonies.
That was one of my favorite movies ever.
I have one that says Congo's Goon Squad. Those letters. So,
All right, I think I'm gonna have to buy that one.
Yes.
Legitimately, I think I'm gonna buy that one.
so yeah, that's what you get one of both.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we wrap up the show, do you want to let the people know like your social medias,
Yeah.
where they can reach you?
Just for the record, shout out to Dina. She just bought Brian one of your shirts.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Dina. Love ya.
Thank you, baby.
I'm sure I'll get an email in a second because we get alerted every time.
Every time the shirt goes to sale, nice.
Yeah. I don't use Twitter as much, but I should be.
Same with us too.
_ Kongo. That's the same as my Instagram. And my Kongo Facebook page is Wildman Kongo. So
Okay.
those are the 3. If you go on YouTube, you can see a lot of my matches on there. Up there.
There's an ass of lashes on there.
So the most recent one up there is the one with me and one of my best friends, Nick.
Nick Westgate.
Yeah, that was his last match this past January.
Really?
Yeah, and then I think he's one of the best men. I've wrestled him pretty much like 200 times, maybe more.
Nice.
This is including training matches.
Wow.
Like we wrestled again. It'd be me and him at the school till 12 a.m. in the morning, just doing like practicing moves on each other and learning how to. So, but that was, I was the best man at his wedding. That's how good of friends we are. So,
Awesome.
so that was the most recent one online, I believe. I don't know if the other one is, but you can look it up. But that's one of the most recent ones up there with me and him. I thought it was fun. I thought we told a good story. The crowd was really into it, so it was fun. I thought for him to go out in his last match, I don't think it could have been any better. So
That's awesome.
shout out to my little big brother, Nick.
Let's post that on the page, bro.
Huh?
Yeah.
Post that one on the
I will
page.
post it after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my little big brother because he's a powerlifter, so he's like super jacked.
I think I remember him from years ago at a Ring of Honor dark match.
Yeah, he's done a few.
Did he used to have the finishing move, which was like Christian's kill switch, but he would spin and
Yep,
flip?
that was him.
That was one of the sickest moves
Yeah.
I've ever seen live.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
He didn't practice the spinning one on me.
Yeah.
But he practiced the one running off the ropes on me, and then when you have more people that are more athletic, you can do the Kuten. So he would do that.
Oh yeah, if you haven't seen it, Kyle, definitely check that out. That's a pretty badass
Little
finisher.
prettier thing.
Yeah,
Just the spinning.
He does that, but he like spin. It literally looks like he's a plane going like this. Whoosh. and will spin all the way in 360 and drop you on your head. It's
looks
sick
cool.
as hell.
It looks real cool. So.
All right, well, we got to wrap this one up because the good folks the city police department that I'm currently in are probably going to pull me over.
Because you fit the description of a black male, 4'6" to 7'8".
And he looks like Luke Cage.
Yeah, that too.
Fucking hate you.
Crime fighter. Crime fighter.
You notice how I said Luke Cage, not Luke? I'm not trying to get copyright. So you could be Luke Cage following.
Just so you know, Ray, this is your fault.
Yo, Ray, I gave him a hoodie with holes in it. Told him this is his costume. He told me no.
Wrap this up, Brian.
He don't look like Luke Cage, folks. He don't look like Luke Cage over here. Like,
Oh, I hate you so much.
look.
All right. Well, I guess I'll wrap up the show. Again, thank you so much for coming
Thanks for
on,
having
man.
me.
Appreciate you, brother. For
Thanks for having me.
You are our first actual professional wrestling guest. It was awesome having you on,
You
man.
got Carl.
Huh?
You have Carl.
Stinky Carl?
He doesn't count, though.
Yeah, that's right. You don't count.
Stinky
I
Carl?
love you, Carl.
You count.
Again, thank you. And make sure you check out Wild Kongo and Wildman Kongo on all social medias. Check out the matches. We'll be posting some up on the page shortly. And again, thank you guys for listening to us. The audio version will be out later on tonight. Yes, he does kind of look like Luke Cage. That's good. You know it's good. Carl, meme that for next week. That's the meme.
Oh,
That's the meme for next week.
And I bet you nobody's gonna tell the difference. They're gonna be like, "Why do you have Luke Cage?"
But thank you, everybody, and we will see y'all next weekend. Man.
Peace.
Oh, before you go, one more thing.
Don't ask Dominic.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask Dominic for a number again.
He suck. So he's just mad that Cam Newton's worried about scarves and not actually playing football.
As you can see, we all give him the service when it comes to Cam Newton.
You know, and
But we'll check you guys out.